Hello, my name is Zeynep Kilic, and I'm a professor of sociology at UAA. As an immigrant and a woman, diversity and inclusion themes, especially around race, ethnicity, and gender, have always been central to my life and work. As early as my dissertation days, I was looking at inclusion through studying citizenship and belonging among the second-generation migrants in Germany and the United States. Later, I studied concepts such as racial hierarchies in the migrant art scene, racialization of ethnic restaurant reviews, and the insatiable search for authenticity, as well as gender, food, and nation in cinema. My documentary, Tables of Istanbul, also explores themes such as social class, religious, ethnic, and national references within food landscapes. Since graduate school, I've always served in community associations that added to the cultural diversity of landscapes I inhabited. My professional engagement around issues of diversity and inclusion naturally affects my community and professional service. Over the years, I've served on committees such as the Commission on the Status of Women for the Pacific Sociological Association, National Coalition Building Institute, and Faculty Senate Diversity Committee at UAA, even receiving a Chancellor's Award for Diversity. And I'm currently serving on the BIPOC Fellowship Committee at the Association for the Study of Food and Society. My teaching is another area where diversity, equity, and inclusion are central themes, and where I incorporate creative engagement and reflection for students to explore these topics. Here's a short clip that goes over some of my assignments in those classes.
As the rest of the faculty in our department, I teach Introduction to Sociology every semester. In this class, we study sociological imagination by exploring social control and inequality through concepts such as culture, gender, race, health, and social class. Additionally, I teach a 300-level Sociology of Globalization class once a year. We explore this highly referenced and rarely understood and highly complex topic from the arts to global commodity chains and from international terrorism to labor and environmental issues by reading across disciplines. I also teach a food class where we study cultural aspects of food across various topics and fields. Not only do we explore themes such as food memories and food nostalgia, we also reflect on our own food identities through podcasts, personal essays, and tasting food and sensory sessions. Lastly, every few years, I teach a 400-level Sociology of Race and Ethnicity course where we identify how race permeates every aspect of our society. In each of these classes, we work with local observations and data to make sense of our local experiences and engage with these topics as researchers. For example, you may be taking various bus routes that traverse the city to observe neighborhood-level factors, or engaging people in race topics in multiple contexts, or taking pictures to identify how conceptual ideas appear in daily life, or perhaps analyzing how ethnic restaurants are presented and deconstructed in online dining reviews, utilizing different methodological techniques for each project.
Since I worked on my documentary, I've been especially interested in utilizing creative assignments that require students to unpack difficult topics. In my race and ethnicity class, we worked with Gabrielle Burnett and applied the theater of the oppressed, where students became active actors rather than spectators to analyze and transform their experiences of injustice. We also work with Alaska Native storytellers and local poets, such as Kima Hamilton, to explore non-traditional writing in the classroom that went beyond academic papers. These days, I'm partial to using unessays in all my classes, challenging students to do something by pushing their creative boundaries. These are some examples from my unessay e-portfolio from 3 different classes that traverse topics as wide as gender pay gap, athletic scholarship and gender, body image, racism, environmental racism, indigenous perspectives for the environment, social class, ageism, and etc. Regardless of what class I'm teaching, stratification is always an underlying theme where we read across the disciplines to understand how othering works and how we can work towards a more inclusive and equitable world. The recent pandemic, of course, give us sociologists an opportunity to further unpack how inequality shapes our experiences. In my classes, we've blogged about the negative global flows of disease, in my Sociology of Globalization class, for example, or commented on pandemic comic strips via voice threads. and even created podcasts about our pandemic eating habits in my food and society class.
Hello, all my sociology lovers. Welcome back to the Contemporary Issues podcast. I'm your host, Cassie, and today we're going to be doing a breakdown of relationships between people and food during a COVID-19 pandemic. So, let's get into it.
We also talked with the Fresh founder, Dr. Snyder, about COVID-19's impact on Alaska's food system in our food class. So the credit really goes to sociology, to my field, rather than myself, because diversity, inclusion, and equity are central values to my discipline as well as in our department here at UAA. Thank you for watching.